Okay.
No, it's Excel. This is like,
They almost had it.
The study session for the Aurora City Council for Monday, January 8th, 2024 is called to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mayor Kaufman.
Here.
Councilmember Bergen.
Here.
Councilmember Coombs. Councilmember Gardner.
Here.
Councilmember Hancock.
here.
Councilmember Jonesy. Here. Councilmember Lawson.
Here.
Councilmember Medina.
Here.
Councilmember Murillo.
Present.
Councilmember Sniper.
Here.
And Mayor Pro Tem Zavala.
Here.
Okay, there's no mayor's update. Are there any issue updates? Seeing none, is there any objection to moving item number 2A through 2C forward? Seeing none, item number 2A through 2C will move forward. Item number 3A, Paul Tower, Aurora City Council Chamber Accessibility Improvement Project Update. L.A. Watson, the Manager of Business Services. Is Ellie here?
Mayor
Okay.
Perry, Deputy City Manager, while Ellie pulls up the PowerPoint, I'll start the presentation for you all this evening. So tonight's presentation is focused on planned improvements to the Paul Tower Council Chambers. And this project was essentially put in place to improve accessibility to the council chambers floor and podium, enhance access to the council dais from the chambers, and provide for a more inclusive design for the chamber. And in January of 2022, council allocated $750,000 from the ARPA funding at the time. And from there, Public Works moved forward in hiring a design contractor to design the improvements. And in August, construction drawings were completed, submitting for permit. The project was bid in November, and bids were recently received in December. And Ellie Watson will walk you through in a little bit more detail on the technical and scope elements of the project.
Sorry, I'm getting over a cold. I'm Ellie Watson. I'm the Business Services Manager in Public Works, and I will give you a few more specifics on the proposed improvements themselves. So kind of project history, Council in January 2022 allocated some ARPA funds towards the design of the project. We issued that design and been working on that throughout 2023. And the invitation to bid was released in November. We received those construction bids back that same year. And so we are here to talk to you more about the project before moving forward. Next slide. So just to orient you kind of to the current conditions in chambers, we do currently have some ADA compliant accessible options to the chambers. Just the vestibule is here at the top. It'll come into play a little later, but this on the side here with that little door, that's a storage closet. If you have any kind of mobility challenges now when you come in the chambers, you're most likely going to come in the main vestibule where the public comes in. If you're in a wheelchair, there is wheelchair seating at the top of the chambers. There are also some seats if you just have trouble getting in and out of the aisles, or maybe just getting in the seat. There's a couple of seats where the side opens, so you can kind of scooch in that way. If you want to come to the floor, you would come around to the lift. So this lift currently exists. That will take you down to the floor of the chambers, and same options there. There's room for wheelchair seating, and there's also one of those seats that has the side that opens as an option as well. So if you're just viewing, you can be at the top of the chambers. If you want to be closer, or if you want to maybe speak at the podium, you would use the lift to come down. If you are looking to access the dais, you would come in through this room, through this ramp, and through the kind of coat closet room that you guys typically would use when you leave here to go from study session to council. So that would be the access to the dais. When we first started talking about kind of if there were things we could do to make the accessibility a little more friendlier, there was questions about turning any of these stairway aisles into a ramp. The problem is to get a slope gentle enough to meet ADA requirements. We just don't have the room. it would go all the way to the dais. Same kind of concern too with these little stairs to get on the dais from there. Just not enough room to create a slope compliant ramp. And so I'll go into it a little more on the next slide, but before I get there, the kind of solution that we came up with to get us that extra linear feet that we needed to make a compliant slope is to go through the wall at the top here and utilize that storage closet and make a ramp on that side of the wall. And then if we wanted to do the same with a ramp to the dais, we would eliminate the lift, but the ramp would have to go straight to the dais. So this would be blocked off here, and it would go straight there. And that gives us enough linear feet to accommodate a ramp. Unfortunately, we can't do we can't accomplish both things on the same side. So we'd be doing a ramp on either side. So next slide. So here are some renderings. At the top left, you can kind of see basically right when you come in the door, that ramp is gonna start to the left. It's gonna go through the wall, and it's going to come down to the floor. This is the center aisle seating, provides both wheelchair access and companion seating, kind of back into the audience, so included with the audience. Because there is kind of a step down from here, we do need to build kind of the enclosure around that. It needs some kind of barrier because there is a difference in the grade there. So, and then of course we would still have the options at the top for seating as well. So next slide. So this is the ramp. When you would come in, you would go to the right, eliminating that lift, and this ramp would just go straight to the dais. And so you can see from inside the chambers where these are where the steps are now, they'd have to be blocked off because we would need to utilize that as part of the ramp.
Just a clarification, if you don't mind, Mayor.
Please.
When you say to the dais or on the dais?
To sit on.
To sit on the dais, okay.
Just a question.
Sure.
Are we ADA compliant as we are now?
As long as we're, yes.
We are.
We have options to get to both spots as it is now.
Okay. Councilmember Sunberg.
Maybe I should wait. But if Councilmember Jurenski blew her knee out and had to get on the dais. She could ride on my back, or she could go down this ramp right here and through that door and get on the dais.
Yes, this is the accessible route right now to.
Okay,
Yep.
exists.
Yes.
Okay.
Nothing there isn't anything that exists once you're in the chambers from the floor.
Okay.
This is the accessible route. Yep. All right, next slide. So the cost estimate that we had at the time, thought we could maybe do this for around $750,000, so that is our ARPA allocation. We have supplemented that a little bit with some money from just our routine building repair project fund. And so the design is at 136. We spent 113 of that so far. The remaining would be for construction administration support during construction. And then the low bid came in at 817. We would look to award this contract. Our bids will expire this month, so we'd be looking to award the contract this month, and then do some pre-construction activities, working on the schedule, working on just ordering all the materials and those kind of things to mobilize beginning May 1st, with conclusion in December.
So a little bit about construction impacts and considerations. So with the structural work that Ellie walked you through for the project, it will be impactful to the council chambers. So it will involve dust, it will involve removal of the seats. And as such, the recommendation is for council during this duration to hold their meetings virtually, as the council chamber will not be able to be operated to successfully hold a public meeting. So during the duration of construction, which would be from May through December estimated of this year, the council meetings would be held virtually with a call-in line for public comment, and meetings would still be streamed on auroratv.org, YouTube, and of course televised on channels 8 and 880. And having meetings virtually allows for predictability for the public to be able to consistently provide public comment on items to council and ensures for a solid level of engagement continued moving forward with our council meetings this year. If we were to hold in-person council meetings in this room, recognizing its size and capacity, there would be limitations for public comment, and that's due to the microphones, occupancy limits, as I mentioned, of course, Aurora TV streaming. An alternative option, instead of moving forward with the full scope as bid, we can do a phased option where we reduce the scope, focus only on one ramp to the floor, forego the ramp to the dais, and that would result in us being able to keep the council chambers open and fully operable for council meetings. So that's one consideration to council as they review this.
Councilmember Bergen.
So if we went with the other option that minimizes the disruption, how much do you think, I know that there would be a huge time savings, and then we could still conduct our meetings. Is there also a cost savings?
There would also be a cost savings. I'm not 100% sure how much it would be since we didn't bid it that way, but yeah, it would be less expensive and we'd have to close the chambers for a shorter amount of time.
So what would be our next, if we wanted to get that information, we would ask for another proposal, or?
Technically, we would award the contract and do a change order to reduce the scope. Or we would rebid it with a different scope. That's an
Councilmember
option
Gardner.
as well.
Yeah, I would strongly recommend one of these two options, though my preference would be the kind of amended option with the ramp to the dais. I think we have an easy ramp option, the ramp to the floor. We have an easy ramp to the dais option. Frankly, the current option we have with the lift for public comment is frankly humiliating. And if we had extensive public comment for disabled public, and we had public commenter after public commenter where that had to happen, I think it would be embarrassing for us to sit through that. The excuse that our building was technically ADA compliant when it was built, that's great, but we have federal money that's available to us. We may not have that opportunity again in the future. I think we should take advantage of that and make our building accessible now under this kind of revised option that puts a ramp. It puts a ramp to the floor for the public. It makes the building ADA compliant to current standards to the floor for the public. It makes it accessible, and then utilize this ramp option for the dais. I think that's kind of a win-win and reduces the time where our council chamber would be closed.
Okay, and I just want to remind the members that we have a hard stop at 6:15. Councilmember Murillo and then Councilmember Sundberg.
Okay, hopefully this is working well. I guess I wouldn't support not doing this. I think we have the funding available, and from a just respect and a dignity standpoint for folks who are in a wheelchair, being able to provide that accessibility, I think that's in our best interest in terms of serving the greater good. I personally would be in favor of just getting it done in one fell swoop, but that's just my personal opinion. I'm not opposed to the amended option either, because I know that still creates some access point, but whatever we can do to create the greatest accessibility from a more dignified approach, I support.
Councilmember Sundberg.
The amended project, do we not know the cost?
I do not know the cost.
We would have to rebid it.
Rebid, okay.
Let me ask this.
We can also negotiate with the current low bidder. We would just award the contract first, because that is how we bid it, and then do a deductive change order.
Are there other
Either option.
okay. Are there other projects in the city where we are not ADA compliant that require some funding, an appropriation to be able to become ADA compliant?
We are currently in the process of completing our ADA transition plan. This is a multi-year effort that began over a year ago. And as part of that effort, that plan will identify needed improvements in the city. That's currently underway. So we don't have a final draft for presentation or numbers to share today, but certainly we'll keep council apprised as we complete that plan.
Okay, probably we have federal fund, one-time federal funds, and we're spending on a project that's ADA compliant, and we have outstanding projects that are not ADA compliant. Councilmember Bergen.
I don't know if anybody can speak on the proposed legislative action that might happen this session. I had read in, can't remember if it was the Post or the Gazette, that there is a bill coming forward that would be for, how do I word it, for large people to be kind of ADA compliant if you are a larger person. So are we going to end up making changes, then find out a bill passes through the state legislature, and then we have to completely change, I don't know, the size of our seatings, for example? Maybe they're not wide enough. So do we have any information on that?
I have not heard of that bill, but you never
know.
underestimate the legislature to come up with something. So we could put that on track and talk to our lobbyist about any
Yeah,
bills that
and my
we're hearing on
concern
them. But
is-
I have not heard of that bill.
It was, like I said, it was in the paper probably a month ago when they were looking at new bills coming forward for 2024 session. But my concern is if we make changes and then we find out we have to make more changes, and we could have done it in one type of proposal versus maybe having to redo the chamber again.
We can reach out and see if that is a legislative proposal being worked on with our lobbyist.
Okay.
So, Mayor, I think at best,
Councilmember Drinsky.
I think at best we should table this. I mean, we need to see if this legislation's gonna come. I think some of us would like to see what the cost would be for an amended version.
Is there any, if we table this, are there any cost to us in terms of, because the contracts haven't, there's no RFP out on this stuff, right?
Yeah.
Oh, there is?
RFP, but we haven't awarded the contract.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned about the fact that we may have, that this is discretionary, I think it's a good thing, but the fact that we may have outstanding ADA requirements to meet, and you're saying that we're not sure about that? There are some,
We're
but we just...
evaluating currently all the various assets across the city.
Because I know you grandfather in, it really depends on when the building was built.
Correct.
That whether it's grandfathered in, then it's not executed unless you're doing a major renovation, I think, then the requirements come into being, even if your building was built before, I think that the date of the legislation. Further questions or comments? Okay, so let me go back to Councilmember Drinsky. Can you define what you want to do here?
Well, I would, at a minimum, like a whole new bid on what the amended proposal would cost and what that length of time would be to shut down the council chambers. As of right now, I can't support this, so I'm gonna be a no, completely a no, to move this forward tonight, so.
How long would it take to get that information?
If we rebid, I'd say 3 to 4 months.
And you're rebidding for
The amended version.
the amended version? To do a cost analysis, you have to rebid it?
I do have a cost estimate. I can see if we can extrapolate some of that, or we could just maybe use a third-party cost
I would say
estimator to
third
do that
party,
as
yeah.
well.
Councilmember Mario? and then
Yeah, that was
Councilmember
just going to be my request, is that feels ridiculous to get like a updated cost. If we did a change order, does that mean, is there a point of no return in that process? Or maybe what you're recommending is easier? But I just ask that we get that sooner than 4 months.
I defer to the city attorney. We would have awarded a contract and then negotiated a change order. So I don't think in good faith we would then back out on the contractor.
Councilmember Summer?
I just have a request. If we are given a presentation like this and you give us an option, can you please give us a cost? Because you know the question's coming, right? Okay, thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Yeah, Mayor, maybe because I agree with what you're saying about the potential of other non-compliant. So maybe I would put forward a proposal that we come back with an amended cost and a list of the other, because I think that this pool of money should be used for getting the city up in terms of ADA compliance. But I think knowing what the other options are, because if there are some that we are completely out of compliance with, those should take priority. And I think just knowing what that list is, this might be the top priority, but we don't know for certain. So I think having that and a revised cost estimate for this other option would be helpful.
Councilmember Jurenski, you're in line with that?
Yes.
Okay, very well. Is there objection to, I guess, Councilmember Jurenski's amended proposal by the mayor?
I object.
Okay, very good. Further objection? Seeing that that's, you object to Councilmember Moreno?
Yeah.
Okay, very well then, but that's the direction, to come back with a list of what is not ADA compliant that would require funding, and then the amended version in terms of what the estimated costs are, not bid costs.
And can we find out if that is going to be on the legislative?
We'll do our very best to see if we can find any
Okay.
proposals that are.
Very well. Okay, that's the direction then. Thank you. Great job. 2A, 2024 outside agency appointments. Okay. All right. Councilmember Hancock, you've not been through this process before, but basically we volunteer you pretty much for everything. And you'll spend your entire life in meetings. It's only fair. It's what happens to every new member. I mean, it's the way we've done it for a long time. Okay. Okay. Accelerate Colorado. Okay, is there any objection to Councilmember Bergen remaining on there? Anybody else? Okay, very well. That's done then. Adams County Aging Network. We didn't have anybody on there before. Somehow I thought that Councilmember Coons was on there, or no? Okay. Okay, anybody want to do that? Okay. Now, Adams County Airport Coordinating Committee. Councilmember Gardner, do you wish to stay on that?
Sure. I'm not sure what I do.
With that enthusiasm, I'm on there. Yeah, it's ouch. I do go to meetings. There's too many meetings. Okay, so that stays the same. Adams County Regional Economic Partnership. I guess that's just one person, one elected official from Adams County. Let's hope he wants it. Does anybody else want to apply for that? Okay. Arapahoe County Community Corrections Board.
I want to be on this one. Me too.
Okay. Now I show 2 law enforcement individuals on that. Is there some requirement that it be law enforcement?
Do we have notes on this one? I know we've discussed it in the past. I think we can get you guys more information as to whether or not there's a preference or a requirement for a law enforcement.
Okay, we're gonna have to, we'll come back to that. Okay,
Appointed by the commissioners.
oh, they are?
It says you make the recommendations to the county commissioners.
Okay,
but
then they do the appointment.
Then they appoint.
Okay. We'll have to come back, let's come back to that. Rural Mental Health, Councilmember Medina.
Fine.
And with that, just incredible enthusiasm, I just, please control yourself. Okay. 2023, okay, now we're at 2024, Aurora Sister Cities.
Mayor, I'd be willing to.
Okay, great. Anybody else? Okay, Councilmember Rio.
Sorry, I need to press this.
Thank you. Centennial Airport.
Excuse me, Mayor, you can only have one? Because I would like to be on Sister Cities too. Does it say that? Oh, yeah, sure does. Me too.
Is that?
That's one.
I guess,
Find out.
because I think because that's a voting member, so I'm not sure if we can exceed that number.
So it's only one? Okay, no
But I think
worries.
we can make, I'm sure we can do
You can do an alternate.
alternate.
I can be an alternate. Because that's very interesting to me. 'cause
Okay,
I like
thank you.
that idea.
Centennial Airport Community Noise Roundtable. I don't think that requires, Brad Pierce has done an amazing job
Yeah.
on that.
We nominate him.
Yeah, I don't know, is there any objection to Brad Pierce? Okay, so I don't know who's Mindy.
She's a staff person
Okay, good.
in planning, and we just have her be the alternate in case Brad can't make it, and she just monitors this from a planning and zoning standpoint.
Cherry Creek Basin Water Quality Authority Board, Mr. Water himself.
Yeah, I'm gonna geek out still with phosphorus in the water and invasive water species and things of that sort. So I'm
You
still.
gonna do this one? Oh, thank you, Steve, thank you. Councilmember Summer. Okay, great. Cherry Creek Basin Water Quality Authority,
That's a technical advisory committee that's typically made up of some scientists.
okay, that's staff?
Yes.
Staff. Okay, Colorado Municipal League Policy Committee, I just don't know who that would be. Okay, yes. Okay. Colorado Air and Spaceport Advisory Board. And if it doesn't, Dave Gruber would be great if nobody has an objection to that. Okay.
I think this is your appointment, and I don't think there's a requirement that it be
Okay.
elected.
Go ahead, Gruber, I'll call him. Combined Crisis Center, Mile High Behavioral Health Care.
If nobody wants it, Councilmember Coombs would like to maintain
Okay, very well.
the board position.
You volunteer there. Denver Regional Council of Government.
I asked her.
What? Who?
No, I asked her if she would like to keep her appointments.
And she wants to stay on the,
She wants to stay on
Dr.
Mile
Clark
High.
too?
No, Comidas.
Just Comidas.
Okay,
And she would like to be an alternate for Dr. Cog if,
okay,
I don't know if anyone else is interested.
okay. So I have also Councilmember Lawson and Councilmember Medina down for it.
But Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem Zabonic was on the Dr. Cog in general,
But yeah, he was primary.
primary,
I don't want to be.
so can I be?
Oh, sure.
Be primary.
Okay, primer, okay. Okay. Councilmember Lawson. Okay.
Are we okay with Councilmember Coombs being the alternate?
And Councilmember Cruz will be the alternate. Is that, Councilmember Medina, is that okay with you? Yes, sir. Okay. Okay, E470, Public Highway Authority, I just don't know who would.
Mayor, we skipped over the
Oh, which one did I
transportation.
miss?
The transportation was in Dr. Cog.
Oh, is this separate?
Yes. Juan is listed as the Arapahoe County alternate.
And Mayor, I'd like to stay as the Adams, if possible, unless somebody.
Okay, so, okay,
Ruben, did you want to be the Arapahoe?
Yeah, I can do the wrap one then.
Okay.
I'll switch.
okay. Okay, so, let me get this straight here. So, Councilmember Lawson's gonna be
Primary.
the primary for
All of Dr. Clark.
all of Dr. Cog, okay,
Coombs is the
This is the
alternate.
alternate.
right, okay.
Angela stays on Adams.
Can I stay on the transportation?
Subcommittee.
Okay, yeah, okay, any, okay, fine. Okay, and so
And then Ruben is.
Lawson, Councilmember Lawson, you're on, for Adams or for,
I'm from Adams.
okay,
I've been on Adams
for Adams Transportation?
Yep.
Okay, and then Councilmember Medina, what,
Wrap on transportation.
okay, thank you. Okay. E470 Public Highway Authority, I'm not sure who would want to do that.
Well, being that I'm the vice chair, I think I'm going to stay.
Is there any objection?
And I'll remain the alternate.
Okay, good. Thank you for doing that. Fitzsimmons Redevelopment Authority. I would like to stay on.
I'd like to stay.
Mayor Pro Tem. Okay, Councilmember Gardner? Yep. Okay, good. Is there anybody else who wants to be on there, or objection or anything? Okay.
I know I'm on.
Okay. The High Line Canal Collaborative. Does Alice, Councilmember Mario, do you know if Councilmember Coombs wants to?
I don't know if this was updated, because I believe I took that over for Councilmember Coombs, and I'm happy to maintain that position. Either way,
Okay, so we have just one, I'm automatically on, I guess so.
yeah.
So I'm sorry, do you want to do that, Councilmember Moreno?
Sure, yep.
Okay. Okay, anybody else? Okay. Regional Economic Advancement Partnership, I don't quite know what that is.
So this is the area generally out in East Aurora. This includes Colorado Air and Spaceport, that area around it, which is why I think Councilmember Gruber has requested to do
Okay.
this.
Any objection to that, Councilmember Gruber? Okay, good. Okay. Aerotropolis Regional Transportation Authority. Councilmember Gardner?
I'd like to do that.
Oh, great. Councilmember Bergen?
I would like Steve Sundberg, since he represents Ward 2. I think we've spoken, and he would be willing to be the second primary.
Councilmember Sundberg? Okay.
Would you then be the alternate, Francois?
I will be the alternate.
Great, okay. Sand Creek Regional Greenway. Yay, okay. Spirit of Aurora.
Same here.
Yay. Urban Drainage and Flood Control District Board of Directors, and I believe, is that the mayor pro tem?
Woo-hoo!
We already had my first meeting.
Okay. Visit Aurora.
Hancock.
Allison Coombs would also be like, to be on it.
Wants to be
but-
on Visit Aurora?
Except,
Okay.
I would
Is there a
say
max?
Stephanie doesn't really have anything.
yeah, Stephanie doesn't have any.
And Stephanie's here in person, so.
Okay, so.
Hancock.
Let me ask you this.
Sorry, Councilmember Hancock.
So is Kim Stewart automatically on it then?
Yes.
Yes.
She is? Okay, and then, well, then I saw Laura Perry as an alternate.
To Kim.
To Kim, okay, and then so, Councilmember Hancock, you want to do this one?
Yes.
Is that okay? Is that okay?
I mean, Councilmember Coombs would like to, but she has a flu, so she's not here. But it's the will of the majority, so
Okay,
that's how that goes.
okay.
Is there an
Okay.
alternate to, because I see representative?
Well, let's see if there's an alternate. Let's see if we can do an alternate
A blank.
to the elected official.
Yeah.
We'll put Councilmember Coombs down as the alternate.
Is that okay with you?
Yeah, it's fine with me.
Okay.
That's just it. That's what we just
Aurora Housing Authority. We don't have.
These are your appointments, sir.
Oh, no, I do that. Okay. Aurora Economic Development Council.
I want
Okay.
to stay.
I want to stay.
Okay, and then I understand that I'm not automatic, that's just by custom?
I'm going to remove myself and have Councilmember Hancock be on it.
Well, okay, Mayor Pro Tem, can you do it? Okay. Okay, we got the Mayor Pro Tem. Oh, who's been on there, I guess. Okay. So how many slots do we have?
So
A lot.
I was going to say, I think I've heard Councilmember Hancock has interest. Mayor, you've told me you're fine stepping down, so I think if Councilmember Hancock goes in, Councilmember Lawson, you can step down or stay on it.
I'm stepping down.
You're stepping, okay.
Because I'm on these other.
Okay, Councilmember okay, so then we still have one slot left?
No, you're already on it. Everybody that's already on it is
Everybody's on it.
staying. Angela's leaving and Councilmember Hancock is replacing her. That's
replacing
literally
me.
the only change.
Yeah.
Well,
No, but I'm leaving.
You're leaving?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're ex officio.
No, it's not a requirement, we checked.
But you're ex officio. Does it matter?
Again, he can step down.
Yes, he can step down,
So
but
that
you don't
means I
have to
have to-
replace someone.
No, and again, I think it's.
Oh, you don't replace that one?
It's you all's decision. I've talked to AEDC, I've talked to the city attorney's office. You all have essentially 8 slots you can fill if you want to, or if there's any other interest, or we can tell them these are who's on there, and they will proceed.
Okay, so we do have one we can do.
Well, Mayor, I'll go ahead and stay.
Okay. Okay, national organizations to ensure a sound control environment. Brad Pierce, yeah, he's our guy. Any objection? Okay, is that it? You got it? Good.
We were taking good notes. We will get this updated, get it back out to all of you all as well. If you have any questions about meetings in terms of contact or other things, please get a hold of Alia and she'll help you. So you got a couple questions.
Okay.
And I have a question. I
Okay.
do also.
Councilmember Berger.
So I am on the Region 9, Arapahoe County Region 9 Opioid Governance Committee. I know it's not on the list, it should be.
Yeah.
So
It is now.
It is now? Okay, so, because I am
On the
on that,
list we
and
have.
I'm also on a subcommittee on it.
Yes,
Okay.
they've been added for the next round of consideration.
Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
thank you for doing that.
Mayor?
Councilmember Hancock.
I wanted to make sure that we check back on the Arapahoe County Community Corrections Board and get an answer on that.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that was the other one we got notes on. We will go to them and ask them if it has to be somebody from law enforcement, or if we can have, if there's no requirement, we'll let you all know.
Okay,
And then we'll have to follow up at the next study session on that one.
okay.
All right, 7A, interview and appointment schedule for planning and zoning commission vacancies. AD.
So there are 2 current vacancies for the Planning and Zoning Commission as of December 31st. Both of the members, Sonda Sunnybanka and Gil Jacek, they want to be reappointed. So council can either choose to reappoint them or open up the vacancies and do an interview process.
Mayor?
Discussion, Councilmember Jurenski.
I would like to see us reappoint them.
Okay.
Second.
Councilmember Sim, Sue, okay, is there an objection to Councilmember Jurenski's desire or whatever to, because we can't take votes here, to reappoint them, the planning commission members?
No objection.
Mayor, I have a question.
Councilmember Mayo.
Do I recall that we were gonna postpone appointing folks to boards and commissions at some point last year?
I think that was a mistake.
Katie, can you address that?
I agree. Can we get some clarification?
Okay, Katie,
I agree it was a mistake, but can I get some
I'm sorry,
clarification?
what was that?
What was the question?
I thought there was a majority of this council that wanted to postpone appointing to different boards and commissions. So I wanted to get clarification, because now we're talking about making an appointment to a board or commission.
I don't remember.
Councilmember Gordon.
Yeah, it had to do with the Public Defender's Commission and not wanting to reappoint somebody who disagreed with this majority of this council. And so they did not want to make a reappointment and wanted to post the position. And
Who are you
now
speaking for?
we're doing exact opposite. It's contradictory. So
Councilmember Bergen.
So I originally wanted to postpone that one because of the fact that we were doing the RFP, so I didn't think a commission was going to be necessary until that decision was made. But then it was suggested by other people, including, I think, yourself, that we look at all the
you
boards.
and I never talked about it, so don't put words in my
No,
mouth.
excuse
Danielle
me,
gave
excuse
you.
me.
What?
Councilmember
Don't do
Bergen.
that.
Okay.
Her and I haven't even talked about this.
Okay.
Anyway, it was not my decision to do all the boards, it was recommended. And I wholeheartedly say at this point that that was a mistake. So I would say that I'm fine with appointing everyone that, and I don't know if I have to make a motion at the meeting to repeal that or what.
What do we need to do?
You simply direct staff, if staff wants to bring those appointments back.
So they would
you
bring them back.
simply
Okay.
Bring them back.
I
Is that-
object to the motion.
What's that, I'm sorry?
I object to the motion.
What's the
Okay.
motion?
The motion she made to reappoint the 2 people. I object.
Okay, is there objection, Councilmember Gardner objects. Is there further objection to reappointing the members of the Planning and Zoning Commission? Seeing none, well, I'm sorry, are you objecting? Okay, Councilmember Mario objects. But this is just whether or not to bring it, we're going to bring it forward for a vote, right? So the question is whether or not to bring it forward for a vote. And so the majority of residents support, so we'll bring it forward for a vote. Great. Thanks, everybody. We got it done pretty quick. Meeting adjourned. We'll reconvene at 6:30.